Have you ever wondered why God is telling you today, do not look for a job? Because the very word job has kept many people enslaved, chained and imprisoned to a system never designed for their freedom. God never called you to be a servant of men, dependent on their approval, waiting for their wages, living in fear of being kept or replaced. God is saying to you now, your provision does not come from a job. Your destiny does not come from a company. Your future does not rest in the hands of another man. Your destiny is in my hands, and I, the creator of heaven and earth, will provide for you in ways no employer ever could. Many of you have been searching, striving, knocking on doors, sending resumes, waiting for opportunities, begging for acceptance, hoping for a little salary that cannot even sustain the vision God planted in you. And yet, you still wonder why doors keep closing. It is because God himself is closing them. He is saying, I did not make you to be a beggar at the tables of men. I made you to sit at my table, to walk in my abundance, to live by my provision. When you look for a job, you search for a man to feed you. But when you look to God, you tap into the limitless supply of heaven. Every job has limits. Every employer has boundaries. They can give only so much. They can cut you off, restrict your income, cage your dream, but God has no limits. When God becomes your source, your provider, your dependence, then streams will never run dry, doors will never shut, blessings will never cease. God is saying to you, stop asking men to do for you what only I can do. Stop lowering your vision to fit into their system. Stop chasing positions that cannot hold the weight of your calling. You are not called to live a life of wages. You are called to live a life of purpose. God never designed you to work for mere survival. God created you to manifest destiny, to walk in abundance, to release his power into the earth. A job may feed your stomach, but only God's plan can feed your soul. A paycheck may fill your wallet, but only God's vision will bring you true prosperity. That is why you feel restless. No matter how many jobs you try, you still feel empty, unsatisfied, unfulfilled. Because deep inside, God is whispering, ce n'est pas votre part, ce n'est pas votre destination finale. Je vous ai appelé plus haut. Je vous ai appelé les amis faire confiance pas à l'homme. Think about the systems of this world. They want you to believe that without a job you are nothing, poor, a failure. They want you enslaved to the fear of unemployment. But God is breaking that lie in your life today. God is saying your worth is not determined by a company. Your value is not defined by a title. Your success is not measured by a salary. I am your God, and I am your provider. When you seek a job, you look for man's crumbs. But when you seek me, I open the windows of heaven and pour out blessings you cannot contain. Some of you are in seasons where every job door is closed. You have applied and been rejected, tried and failed, waited and waited with nothing coming, and you thought it was the devil or bad luck. But I tell you, it was God. God himself shut those doors because he refuses for you to settle for less than what he destined for you. God closed those doors because he does not want your trust in man. He is positioning you to see his hand, his power, his provision in your life. Now the question, will you keep chasing men, or will you lift your eyes to God? Will you beg for jobs or embrace the vision God planted in you? Will you chase salaries or allow God to be your source? God is not calling you to laziness or doing nothing. He is calling you to stop chasing jobs and start chasing purpose. Stop depending on men and start depending on me. Stop running after positioners and walk in the destiny I ordained before your birth. A job is temporary. It can end in a moment. But God's vision is eternal. A company may fire you, but God never fires from his calling. A boss may replace you, but no one can replace you in God's plan. That is why God says, do not look for a job. Look to me, seek me, trust me, follow me, depend on me, and I will open doors no man can shut. I will provide from unexpected places. I will make a way in the wilderness. Rivers will flow in dry places. God is raising you beyond the mindset of wages. Some struggle because their minds are trapped in survival. You think one job secures your life. No, security is in God. You think employment brings peace. No, peace is in God. God says, do not look for a job. Look for my plan. Look for my vision. Look for the assignment I gave you. You may ask, but how will I live? Feed my family? Survive? God reminds, did I not feed my people in the wilderness for 40 years? Did I not send manna from heaven and water from a rock? Did I not multiply oil in the widow's jars? Did I not use ravens to feed my prophet? Do you not believe I will do the same for you? Stop asking how, start trusting. This is why you feel restless inside. You were created for more than sitting in offices, trading life for wages. That voice inside is God calling you. Rise, break free, stop looking for a job and start walking into your purpose. Stop searching for men to sustain you. Let me be your source. God says, do not limit me to earthly systems. Do not confine my power to offices, signatures, promises. I am greater than all. Opening doors no man can close. Closing doors no man can open. I am not bound by economy, governments, inflation, or recession. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. So do not look for a job. Look to me, your everlasting provider. Many chase stability but end exhausted because man's stability is fragile and temporary. God's provision is unshakable. He can lift you from dust, seat you among rulers, transform emptiness into abundance, command creation to respond to your need. He says, do not waste your life begging for jobs when I have prepared a destiny for you. The world wants dependence, tying you to paychecks and survival. God wants your freedom, dependent only on Him. He wants you to live from glory to glory, experiencing His riches, not man's crumbs. Sometimes rejection and closed doors are God's way to cut off your dependence on man and shift your eyes to Him. A job can make you comfortable, but it can kill your vision. A job can feed you, but bury your calling. A job can bring security, but suffocate your destiny, God says. Look for my plan, not a job. Provision follows obedience. Prosperity flows with purpose. Blessings unlock with faith. When you live this way, no man can stop God's work in your life. Remember, God created Adam and Eve not to have jobs, but to manage, govern, expand, multiply, cultivate. A mandate, not a job. You were created to walk in authority, manage your gifts, multiply your talents, and manifest God's glory on earth. You were not born to be employed by men, but by God. When God says, do not look for a job, He commands you to rise to your true work. Assigned before birth. Some talents have been buried or suffocated by chasing jobs God never made for you. God is awakening and stirring those gifts again. Stop burying what I gave you. Stop wasting what I placed in your hands. Stop begging men for wages. You have the power to create wealth through your God-given gift. Your gift is not a hobby. It is a key, a channel God designed to bless, lift, and provide for you. Your talent is not decoration. It is your assignment. Do not despise your gift or compare it to others. Even the smallest gift in God's hands becomes a river of abundance. If God could turn a shepherd's rod into a weapon dividing seas, multiply oil in jars, feed thousands with 5 loaves, what can He not do with your gift? That is why He says, do not look for a job. Look at the gift I placed in you. Look at the vision I wrote on your heart. Look at the talent I entrusted to you. When you depend on jobs, you depend on salaries, fixed, stoppable, limited. But when you depend on God, you depend on streams that never run dry. God can use your gift to open streams you never imagined. Bring opportunities without your chasing, cause nations to call your name, make your work fruitful beyond your imagination. That is why the enemy fights to keep you chasing jobs, binding you to limits. But when you embrace God's purpose, you step into limitless supply. God is not against work or effort. He is against fear-driven survival and slavery to man's system. Work from purpose is holy. Labor from destiny is honorable. Work without vision is bondage. Labor without God's direction is slavery. God says, do not look for a job, look for your assignment. In your assignment is your abundance, your joy, your freedom. Some ideas God gave you years ago have been buried by fear, for fear of failure or what others might say. But when God gives the idea, provision is already attached. When He gives vision, resources are waiting. When He gives assignment, He has gone ahead to prepare the way. All He needs is your obedience, your faith. Say, God, I trust you more than a paycheck. Do not think you are too weak, unqualified, or small. When God is your employer, He trains, equips, strengthens, multiplies. The world sees nothing, but God sees a nation inside you, rivers and generations to be blessed through you. God speaks urgently. Do not waste your life chasing jobs. Fix your eyes on me. Walk in my calling. Trust my provision. Step into my purpose. I am your source and I will never fail you. This is not the word of man. It is the voice of God pressing on your spirit. I have not called you to search for a job. I have called you to seek me, to walk in faith, to discover the greatness hidden inside you. Music. Too long you believed survival was the goal and your identity tied to occupation. But God is tearing that lie away and lifting you to a higher truth. Your worth comes not from what you do for men, but who you are in God. Understand this. Jobs keep you functioning in man's system, but purpose calls you to function in God's kingdom. In man's systems, you beg acceptance, climb ladders, and are replaceable. In God's kingdom, you are chosen, promoted by His hand, and irreplaceable. That's why you feel restless, trapped, unsatisfied. Your spirit was meant to soar in God's vision. God says, stop seeking what confines you. Start seeking what frees you. That is the difference between a job and a calling. A job takes from you, a calling releases you. A job drains you, a calling fills you. A job is temporary, a calling is eternal. If you align with God's calling, provision follows like a shadow. Opportunities come searching for you. Blessings overtake you. It is written, those who trust God are like trees planted by rivers of water, bearing fruit in every season. Not the fruit of paychecks, but purpose, obedience, faith, and walking with God as your source. You may worry the world will call you irresponsible. God replies, did I call you to follow the world or follow me? The world mocked Noah until the rain fell, doubted Abraham until the promise came, mocked every prophet until God's power was revealed. You cannot live by men's approval and God's provision at the same time. Choose whom you will trust. When you pursue jobs, you pursue survival. When you pursue God, you pursue destiny. Survival is animal life, searching daily just to eat and exist. Destiny is living God's glory, carrying His will, becoming vessels of His abundance. Which will you choose? To survive like a creature or live as a child of the Most High? God says, I have placed eternity in your heart. Do not sell it for a wage. I have placed greatness inside you. Do not bury it in fear. I have placed light in you. Do not hide it in men's off. ISIS. Some listening stand at the edge of breakthrough, but fear clings to the system that enslaves. You ask, what if I fail? I tell you, the only failure is refusing to trust God. The only true failure is living smaller than He designed for you. God does not ask you to know every detail or have every resource. He asks for faith. Faith that if He calls, He sustains. If He gives vision, provision follows. If you walk with Him, you lack no good thing. The enemy fears those who stop looking for jobs and start walking in God's calling. Jobs keep you busy. Callings make you powerful. Jobs distract. Callings make you dangerous. Jobs limit reach. Callings make you unstoppable. The enemy fights to keep you bound to fear of unemployment. But when you break free and trust God fully, you become a weapon in the Almighty's hands, a light no darkness can quench, a living testimony that God is greater than man's systems. Every great man of God had to break free from man's safety, trust His word, and dare to step into the unknown. God asks you now, will you dare trust me as they did? Will you leave the cages men built and enter the freedom I offer? Will you stop chasing jobs and start chasing destiny? God never called you to be ordinary or hidden among the crowd. He called you extraordinary, to stand out, shine, lead, influence, impact nations. He will never allow peace in the ordinary because his mark is on you. That is why jobs will never satisfy. You were not created for them. You were created for God. Step into this truth. Fear loses grip. You will no longer ask, who will hire me? You will declare, God has appointed me. You will no longer fear, what if I do not get paid? You will declare, God is my source. His supply never fails. You will no longer wonder, what if they reject me? You will stand boldly. If men reject me, God has something greater prepared. Those who trust God cannot be disappointed. Rise, break fear's chains, refuse to bow to employment idols, refuse to sell your destiny for survival or be enslaved by man's system. Stand as God's child and declare, I will not look for a job. I will look to God. I will not chase wages. I will chase purpose. I will not depend on man. I will depend on God alone. Hear this final word impressing your spirit now. Your life has been told survival depends on men's hands, employers' approval, and worldly systems. But today God tears down that lie and calls you to lift your eyes above wages and salaries, to see the vastness of His provision and greatness of your purpose. You are not an accident wandering desperate. You are a vessel designed by God carrying gifts the world cannot contain. You are not here to beg opportunities. You are here to manifest what God placed inside you. You are not here to chase jobs. You are here to walk in God's calling that no man can cancel, no system block, and no rejection erase. If you trust God and shift your dependence from men to Him, your life will no longer be ordinary. You will see provision from unexpected places. Doors will open where walls stood. Rivers will flow in deserts. Miracles will come to your daily bread. More than that, you will walk free, not as a servant of man, but as a child of the Most High, sustained by His hand, guided by His voice, empowered by His Spirit. This is God's call to you today. Break free from fear, doubt, survival chains. Step into the truth. God is your source. Step into bold faith. Step into the destiny waiting since before your birth. Do not bury your gift or silence your vision. Do not wait for permission from men. Rise. God has given you permission. Rise. God has chosen you. Rise. God will provide for you. And when you rise, do not look back. Do not return to cages. Do not bow to the system. Fix your eyes on God and walk confidently. If He called you, He will sustain you. If He sent you, He will equip you. If He planted you, you will bear fruit. In every season, go now and let this word burn in your heart. God said, do not look for a job, look for me. If you do, if you trust above all, not only will your life transform, you will be a testimony for generations, a living witness that God is faithful, provides, and never fails those who trust Him. So choose today. Will you stay bound to men or walk in God's freedom? The choice is yours. The call is clear. Step forward in faith and never look back. This polished version keeps your original powerful message with improved clarity, flow, and emotional engagement to inspire and motivate listeners effectively. It follows good preaching principles by balancing exposition with application, using repetition for emphasis, and ending with a strong, clear call to action.